Okay, let's just get the elephant out of the room right off the bat in this explainer. When the average person hears Nigeria, they almost always think of exactly two things: oil and those infamous email scams. It's this lazy stereotype that's just kind of clung to the country for decades.
But what if I told you that assumption tells you absolutely zero about the actual place? Today, we are completely throwing out those tired tropes. So get ready, because we're about to introduce you to Africa's most populous country, its biggest economy, and honestly, one of the most culturally extraordinary places on Earth.
Section 1, the unmatched human scale, and the demographics that are literally redefining our future. 220 million. That's the population of Nigeria right now, which makes it Africa's most populous nation by a massive margin. Just to put that into perspective for a second, 1 out of every 6 people in Africa is Nigerian. Right, and the craziest part is they are not slowing down. By the year 2050, Nigeria is on track to completely overtake the United States in population, the third biggest country on Earth. The geopolitical shift that represents is just massive.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to see that hypergrowth in action, just look at Lagos. 15 million people. It went from this relatively modest coastal town to an absolute sprawling megacity in the blink of an eye. It's one of the fastest urban expansions in human history, easily putting it in the top 10 largest cities on the planet today. Now, here is a stat that totally blew my mind. Nigeria has over 500 distinct languages. We're talking roughly 7% of all the human languages spoken on the entire planet, all thriving inside the borders of a single country. And it gets so incredibly localized, too. Just one state, Taraba State, has more languages than 30 entire African countries combined. So, while English is the official unifying language, the reality on the ground is beautifully complex. Most Nigerians are polyglots, speaking at least 3 different languages every single day. Which brings us to Section 2, Ancient History and Biology, Mysteries of the Land and its People. Okay, prepare for a massive historical reality check. The earthworks that surrounded the ancient kingdom of Benin were built between 800 and 1400 AD, and they stretched over 16,000 kilometers. That is literally longer than the Great Wall of China. It enclosed over 6,500 square kilometers of land. It's an absolute architectural marvel that, tragically, is just largely forgotten today. And the history gets even deeper. The city of Isle Ife had paved streets way back in 1000 AD. But here's the wild part. The art and decorations found there suggest to some researchers that there might have been transatlantic contact with the Americas centuries before Columbus even thought about setting sail in 1492. Let's take a sharp left turn from history into biology, because Nigeria holds this jaw-dropping world record, 158. That is the incredible number of twins per 1,000 births in a town called Igbo Ora. That makes it the undisputed highest rate of twin births on Earth. No contest. It's such a massive anomaly that scientists are constantly flocking there to study it, totally debating whether it's caused by the local diet or just deep-rooted genetics. It's a genuine biological mystery. All right, Section 3, a global cultural juggernaut, exporting art, film, and wealth. You literally cannot talk about global culture without bringing up Nollywood. This film industry is reaching over 1 billion viewers across Africa and the diaspora. It is easily one of the fastest growing creative economies in the world, churning out over 2,500 films a year. And the sheer scale of it is unreal. It's the second most productive film industry on the planet. Yes, you heard that right. It officially beats Hollywood in volume, sitting just behind India's Bollywood. And their cultural export totally doesn't stop at movies. Enter Afrobeats. This is officially the world's fastest growing music genre. It's this infectious, high-energy mix of highlife, hip-hop, and traditional African rhythms. Nigerian artists aren't just local stars anymore. They are dominating global streaming charts and selling out massive arenas all across Europe and America. But we also gotta ground this modern boom in its powerful legacy. Back in 1986, Wole Soyinka became the very first African to ever win the Nobel Prize in Literature. He survived political imprisonment and really cemented himself as an absolute moral and literary giant of the 20th century. So here's how all of this ties together. These are the engines driving the absolute largest economy in Africa by GDP. You have this massive, super young, highly entrepreneurial population innovating across oil, agriculture, Nollywood, and a genuinely world-class fintech scene. Though, to be fair, it is a country of continent-sized contradictions. It's one of Africa's richest nations, for sure, but also one of its most unequal. It's a really complex environment where unmatched wealth and opportunity sit right next door to deep inequality.
So let's loop right back to how we started this explainer. Looking at everything we just ran through, are you honestly still thinking about email scams? It kind of forces you to reconcile those lazy assumptions with the actual data we just saw.
Right, let's do a really rapid recap here. We're talking about an unstoppable force of 220 million people, over 500 distinct languages, the literal twin capital of the world.
The second largest film industry on the planet. Again, comfortably beating Hollywood, and the exact birthplace of Afrobeats. The stereotype tells you absolutely zero. But this does. Nigeria is a nation whose true scale and boundless creativity the rest of the world is only just finally starting to catch up to, which really makes you wonder, what other massive parts of our world are we getting completely wrong?